The difficulty of the golf course, Rich, I know a lot's changed over the last 20 or so years. A lot of the trees have been removed, but really that wasn't the story of Oakmont. It's the slick greens, how firm and fast they can be. The members there, for example, they marvel at the fact that people think they're fast. They say we putt on these greens every single day and they're certainly no slower. But it's the bunkering as well. There's 210 bunkers here. They're all in play. And it just has that history. When you step on Oakmont, you just know you are walking on not one of the great courses in North America, but one of the great courses in golf.
Those are good numbers right there. 320, 320 yards. Just crushed it in the fairway. Frank, what makes this downhill shot a little trickier in terms of club selection and setup?
Because of the nature of the downhill, that ball's just going to come out a little lower. So you've got to take that into consideration. It might run a little more on the back end.
EA Sports is proud to present today's PGA Tour coverage. And hello again and welcome. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo. We are at Oakmont Country Club in western Pennsylvania. Frank, the site of so many historic moments. Great players have made their mark here. Sam Snead, Ben Hogan, Jack Nicklaus, Ernie Els, a long and distinguished list.
Oakmont, if it's not the most difficult golf course in North America, Rich, it's certainly one of the most difficult golf courses. With its 210 bunkers, really personified by the church pews, the hard and slick greens that slope away from the player and the tight fairways, this golf course always requires the utmost precision.
Here we are at the first tee on this beautiful day, beginning with a difficult, long par 4. It is 482 yards. Frank, what do you see here on this approach shot at number 1?
There's a little bit of doubt because of the semi-blindness down the hill. If you can just pick up on the top of the flagstick, what really has to be taken into consideration is that little run-in area towards the front of the green. It goes down towards the green, and just before it gets there, it goes up again. So that means if you play your second shot a little too far short, chances are it will not make the green. Once you get on the first 5 or 6 yards of this green, then it all tends to slope towards the back of the green. It's a tough second shot to get right.
This is EA Sports. PGA Tour coverage coming up next. Hello again and welcome. Rich Lerner alongside my friend and colleague Frank Nobilo. We are back in the state of Pennsylvania getting set to kick off the round here at one of the great golf courses in the world, Oakmont Country Club. Frank, you're very familiar with it because you were right in the mix down the stretch at the 1994 U.S. Open right here at Oakmont.
And Rich, it's so good just to be back here. You know, there's so much history in Oakmont. It's been a host to so many prestigious tournaments in our sport, such as the U.S. Amateur, the U.S. Open, the Women's U.S. Open, and the PGA Championship. It's just one of the true gems on the golf landscape.
Frank, this is a stout opening hole, 482-yard par 4.
It's often been said that the hardest holes in golf are straight. That's exactly what this opening hole is. There's bunkers that litter the left and the right side of the fairway. The further down you hit, the better view you have of this green, which is set well below the level of the fairway. So a long tee shot, you can nearly see the flag. Anything short of that, you're going to have a blind or semi-blind second.
Frank, did you hear the sound of that coming off the club face?
It was like a cannon.
Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag.
This is a good-looking shot. Certainly had enough power, just didn't have any touch. Frank, what do we have with the approach shot here at number 1?
Well, the green, it slopes away from the players with the exception of the front of this green, which is like almost just a little bit of a ski slope and an upslope before it goes down. That's what makes judging that second shot so difficult. You've got to land that ball on the first 5 to 10 yards, no further, otherwise it skips through.
And it looks like it's in the rough there, Frank.
It might not be as bad as it looks.
And setting up here in the rough. And he's made it onto the green now. Been pretty good all day from this distance, just trying to take care of business. And so just getting started, even par so far. He has this for par. That's a par, and that keeps the scorecard clean, still even for the round. Settles in always with excellent posture over the ball. Frank, not the longest hitter, but sometimes you win tournaments by putting it in a good spot, and that's where we are right here, 280 yards out.
Yeah, 280 down the middle of the fairway. That'll never get you in trouble.
Frank, what about this approach shot here at the second?
It's the severity of the green, Rich. Long hair, and there's a chance that you'd hit your bunker shot or your chip clean off the front. A lot of times, too, the ball will spin back off the front, so you can't even hit the second shot too hard where it might spin too much. The shot literally has to be inch perfect there. Everything from the back of this green goes towards the front and runs off that false front. Should be safely on deck.
Just an incredible shot. That is a very makeable putt after a great approach. Well played. So going well up the hill to that green, will need to take an extra club here. Not a gimme, but well within his range. Well, you're not going to make that putt all the time, but you'd like to at least get it to the hole.
If he keeps putting like that, he's going to be an announcer in no time. Even par, currently.
In red figures at 1 under par. Even par early on. So here we are at the third hole, par 4, again 428 yards. Frank, have you ever seen anything quite like the bunkering that we have here on the left side of this hole?
No, the church pews, they're famous obviously for Oakmont, and they have that tendency to drag your eye to that left side. Really, you hit anything that you can get off on the fairway off this tee, whether it's a long iron, I don't care what it is. If you want to try and hit driver down there, well, good luck, because this really is about the second shot. Somehow avoid that trouble there so you've got a second shot. Oh, that's it. New member of the 300-yard club.
Good poke right there.
I'm loving that balance.
Set to play the second shot now at the third hole. Seems to like it. Looks like it's headed for the green. Well, that's how you play the game right there. Knock it on the green and give yourself a good look at birdie. Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
Oh my goodness, he just made that. I cannot believe it.
I was thinking he might get it close. And just a great shot.
Just 5 feet left. Still even par for the day. Fourth hole now. Long par 5 at 609 yards. Nothing to argue about there, right in the fairway. Good lie in the fairway. A good chance to make something happen here. Frank, you've been around this game for a pretty long time. Are players, in fact, more athletic today than they were, say, 20, 25 years ago?
There's no question, Rich, they are. That we've borrowed from other sports. If you can't make the player better, you can make them more athletic. And in the end, you're still making the golfer better. That's an absolute beauty.
Second from an excellent lie. Frank, the beauty of golf, we're not playing inside a dome with no wind. You have to be able to handle the elements.
You do, and that's really where the better player comes through. On a day like today, anything around par is going to be a good score, so just adjust your own mental par.
Here we go, ready for the second shot at the fourth hole. Frank, going back 100 years or more, we used to see winning scores in stroke play tournaments, 72-hole events of 300 thereabouts. But obviously, like so many things in golf, everything has improved.
Yeah, people would scoff at sort of saying 475s would win a U.S. Open or a British Open. It didn't, and it does. But, with equipment, and people have really got into the game, they've worked it out. And they just plain got better at it. They realize that, stroke play, you can't just swing from the trees, so to speak. You've really got to work your way around and get better. You just can't sort of settle for mediocrity.
Well, this one should be safely on deck here. Wow, Frank, he is dialed in.
Yeah, that was just some shot on that. Easy birdie.
Frank, is this reachable from here? Second shot at the fourth hole?
Yeah, it is reachable. If anywhere you're going to miss, though, you want to miss in that sort of flag-high bunker on the left there. That's the easiest place to get it up and down. I'm talking about missing a green on a par 5 you can reach. But if you miss it high or right, then all of a sudden you're the devilish of a pitch shot.
So, Frank, what do you think of the start so far?
Rock solid. Very impressed.
And getting ready for the putt. So into red figures at 1 under. We're at the fifth hole now. Short hole, but Frank, pretty challenging even at 382 yards.
Yeah, you've got the bunkers are staggered. The first three coming down the left side, and then they start to link up with the ones on the right side that just sort of narrow this fairway up. It just sort of changes the strategy. But if you can just sort of thread an iron up there, that's the main thing. Because this green is going to be very narrow in the front and then slope away to the player's left.
He has given this one the full treatment. Perfect release through the ball. And this shot, he is on the fairway, over 300 yards. Well, this is going to be an interesting day. The wind is howling, or as they would say in Scotland, just a wee breeze. That is tasty looking right there, Frank. Just a perfect spot in the fairway.
That is prime real estate. How do you get a lie like that? Seriously, you could hit any club from there.
Let's see what happens now on this second shot here at the fifth hole at Oakmont.
Oh, solid strike right in the heart of the green.
Terrific golf shot. And now that for an easy birdie. Frank, what do your eyes tell you as you look at this second shot here at the fifth hole at Oakmont?
Well, it's another typical US Open second shot where often you're not looking at the flag. You're trying to pick that section, which is about 7 or 8 yards on the front right of that green, and then you can see what the green will do with it. And if you come in with a shorter club, it'll stop, won't roll as much. A longer club, it will curve around to the left a little more. This is all about finding that spot rather than hitting it at the flag.
Makeable putt right here, currently sitting at 1 under for the round.
Oh, how did that miss?
Are you kidding me? I mean, that one was dead center. Locked in on the read and the speed. That's 1 under on the day. Eyeing this putt for a birdie. With that, moves to 5 under par. Par 3 sixth here at Oakmont. Frank, it's changed a bit since you played here in the U.S. Open back in 1994.
Yes, it has, Rich. They used to have a bunker behind the screen, sort of back left. They've removed that now and actually increased the back of this green. I'm not going to say it makes the hole that much easier. It just gives them a few more places to cut a flag when they choose to stick it in the back.
Chance for birdie after that beautiful shot.
Whoop, this is taken off on a weird line.
And it's going to be in the rough, it looks like. Into the tall cabbage. That ball is swallowed up. Second shot coming out of the rough here. Boy, this could be a tough one right here, Frank.
It's a very long putt, Rich. Obviously, it's difficult, but he still has a shot to sink this one for birdie.
Very well done. Almost made it.
Yeah, there'll be no stress for the next one. It's at sneaky distance.
Oh, that hurts. Thought he had it. It's a very makeable putt here. He is currently 5 under for his round. Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. So a tester from 4 feet. So with that, the score is now at even par. And we've come to the par 4 7th. It is 434 yards. Frank, for players looking to improve their putting, what are some of the training methods they can use?
I think speed is always is a good one when you get on the putting green and you just practice trying to putt inside that 3-foot circle, because in the end all sports are the same. You're trying to focus in on the destination where that ball has to be delivered, whether it's tennis inside the court or basketball inside the rim. Putting's no different. As you get further and further away from the hole, then you just make an acceptable size circle that you're trying to putt within. So pace, very important.
Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag.
Oh, no, look out, Frank. I think he flushed that one.
Oh, this is going, gone.
Frank, it hit the green, but just didn't have enough backspin.
Yeah, you wonder what he was thinking on that.
Frank, what does this second shot look like at the par 4 7th?
Well, normally on any other golf course, you'd say you've got enough green there to work with. But remember, in a US Open, with the firmness and the speed of these greens, if this ball is slightly offline, it's just going to funnel into one of those 2 bunkers on the right or that one in the back right. This is why you have to respect the middle of this green.
Those greens about as fast as that Pennsylvania Turnpike to the right of the 7th here. Frank, chip shot here from just on the fringe. You like to hit this the way you would a putt?
Yeah, I normally take a club that's going to land just on the flat surface of the green, then run from there. Often people take too much loft.
Pretty good shot right there. Frank, in golf, as we know, There's short grass and there's long grass. We all want to be in that short grass, but it doesn't always work out that way. So what's the most important element from the shot, from the rough?
You have to be a little bit more conservative first and foremost, because you can't guarantee a perfect strike out of the long grass. So therefore you have to look around the greens, maybe short, to the right, to the left, and realize what's involved. And also just give yourself a slightly bigger target.
Wow, that was so close, Frank.
Just time to forget that one. I mean, you couldn't hit that much better.
That is a painful bogey at the 7th hole. Standing over this putt, concentrating on the read. Well, you're not going to make that putt all the time, but you'd like to at least get it to the hole.
If he keeps putting like that, he's going to be an announcer in no time.
Wow, I didn't expect that.
Even par currently.
So, 2 over par for the round. Trying to get out of here with just one dropped shot. This is for bogey. So he has that for bogey. I can't help but think that the double bogey back on the 7th hole seems to have shaken his confidence. Not quite where he wanted it, but it is on the green, and that's not too bad. Frank, I'm not saying he should pull out driver here, but this is a long putt.
Greens are fast, though. You never know. Good line, good pace. Might have a chance.
That was not a very good read right there. This is a putt for birdie from long range. Probably would be happy to get down in 2.
That's a shot gone forever.
Not a gimme, but well within his range. 4 under on the day. He'll take par and move on. Rounding out the front 9 here at Oakmont, Frank, it looks to be straight away, uphill. Anything to be cautious about on this tee shot?
Well, there certainly is. Years gone by, this was a par 5 for the US Opens of yesteryear. Par 5 still for the members. And the reason why is it's a little bit uphill, semi-blind tee shot, bunkers left and right, and of course rough if you miss those. This is one of those holes, even though it's a par 4 now, you miss the fairway here, you are not reaching this green in 2.
Frank, this is an important approach shot because our featured player was really good early, a little bit shaky of late. This is a point in time where you need to get it back.
Yeah, you almost need to stop, just stand still for a second, almost just flush it out, because at the moment you're starting to look right and left at the trouble. Let's get back to what worked. Let's start looking where we want the ball to go, where the flag is, and start going there.
He's knocked it on the green, but not in a great position. This is a difficult chance coming up here. Long birdie try. Long putt here. This will require a good touch. Looks like he just misread that. Been pretty good all day from this distance, just trying to take care of business. Not very happy with that one. Trying to move on with a par in his pocket. Really? That's the best you have? These putts keep the round together. That's a drop shot. Now coming back down to earth, Frank.
Well, you can only fly so close to the sun for so long before your wings start to melt.
Knocked that down for par. Remains at 4 under. Take a look now at the 10th hole, Frank. Par 4, 462 yards.
Yeah, this one can play a lot of different distances, and the reason why is if you can sneak a driver to catch the downslope, it can run all the way down. You can have just a wedge in here. If you're not as fortunate and you leave it hanging up on that hill, it plays a good 200 yards for your second.
In the fairway here at the 10th, nice way to start off the back nine.
Oh, I like that.
That's a good spot right there.
Center cup.
Down the hill here, going to play shorter. Oh, looked like he caught a flyer right there, Frank.
Well, I don't know what he caught, but this is way too much.
Wow, lucky break right there, Frank.
Well, that's what everyone else is going to say, except him.
Frank, what are we looking at here with the second shot at the par 4 10th?
Once again, if you could hit something high and soft, maybe with a little bit of a cut, just to land softly on this putting surface. Everything slopes away from the front right of the screen. This looks like it's going to find the target.
You don't want to let this one get away. This is about concentration and focus at this point. Frank, that's what you want to do. Good lag putt.
Yeah, they can't all go in.
8-foot putt here.
That not go in.
Good try, just didn't quite read the break, Frank.
It shouldn't be a problem, you'd think, cleaning up here for par.
Shouldn't be a problem here, but not a formality either. In for par, and we'll sit tight at 4 under. Trying to get out of here without too many bumps and bruises. This one is for bogey. Frank, he needs to right the ship in a hurry. That's a bogey right there.
Well, he's got to sort of wipe the memory banks too. He's still dwelling, I think, on that double bogey he made back there earlier in the round, and that's carried over into this, and it's affecting the way in which he's playing.
Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag. You
can't hide the flagstick from that man.
He is just unbelievable. That never deviated offline.
Frank, as we look at the approach shot here to the short par 4 11th, you think this is a good example of how you have to be precise in order to win a U.S. Open? Just explain.
A lot of times you're looking at a hole, how you're going to play it 4 times in a row. So it's where you would land that second shot. So if the second shot is played too aggressively and lands in the back half of the green, chances are it will not stay. So therefore you're having to move that landing spot closer and closer to the front. And then you've got to try and play to that spot for 4 straight days. And then hopefully the flag's in a position where you can putt at birdie maybe a couple of those. You're just narrowing down the odds for a U.S. Open.
Hit it. Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt. Well, there's an opportunity wasted.
Just knock it in for a par, and let's forget about this one. Golf is not about perfect, but it is going to hurt the cause.
robbed, Frank.
No, it's like kissing your mother-in-law.
Trying to grind out a par here. Needs it.
Showing no signs of weakness. That's a good putt right there. Stays at 4 under. Clean this up with a tap. And that's a bogey. Well, the par 5 12th here at Oakmont is no cupcake. It measures in at 667 yards.
Oh, if this is up, it's good.
Frank, that is position A.
Yeah, the tee shot was like silk, Rich. I mean, just sets up that second shot so beautifully. That's fine.
Frank, how in the world do you explain what happened here?
I don't think you can, Rich. The one person that needs to do the explaining is the player themselves right now. They had a great round going and then completely self-destructed.
Now from a good position in the fairway, his second shot.
Oh, and it gets a good kick. It's only in the first cut.
Not too
That's
bad.
not too bad.
Frank, I like the way he sort of starts his swing a little bit on the outside and then drops it right on plane.
There's a big green, and they're going to use every inch of it.
And as he strides up here to the 12th green, having hit it in regulation, he knows now that his work is by no means done. A long putt coming up. Needs a pair of binoculars to see the hole. Speed wasn't bad on that long putt, but the read wasn't very good. This one just requires a little bit of focus. Kind of a tricky read. Not a gimme, but well within his range. Well, Frank, he'll drop at least one shot here. That was not his best effort.
No, poor is the easiest way to put that. He knows it.
Oh my goodness, he just missed that. And that was almost tap-in distance. So a tester from 4 feet.
It's a cruel game.
This to avoid a huge number. This is for bogey. -3 now for the round. Nudge this one home, finish it up. Couple shots over par.
Pushing our way into this back nine, we arrive at the par 3 13th. It's 183 yards.
Well, that's how you play the game right there. Knock it on the green and give yourself a good look at birdie.
Really. This is an awkward length.
Never quite had enough oomph on that.
Yeah, sort of a wishy-washy stroke.
Frankie took plenty of time on this birdie putt. He looked at it from 3 different angles. He forgot one very important ingredient.
Yeah, pace. You can definitely fall in love with the line, even with approach shots as well, but obviously we see it more on putting.
Good effort and good par putt. Getting set now over the putt. This golf course has been demanding today, and the scores reflect that. 7 over par.
Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo. We're at the 14th hole at Oakmont Country Club. Frank, it's only 358 yards. How good is the scoring opportunity here?
This is certainly one of the best chances on the back nine here for birdie, that's for sure, Rich. Just a long iron off the tee there, threaded in between bunkers that adorn both sides of this fairway. To set up to what you would say on Oakmont standards is a relatively gentle green.
This could be really good, Frank.
Oh, straight at it.
Frank, you know this game can just take the wind out of your sails. Tough sport.
Everybody would love to drive it down the middle of the fairway, knock it to 10 feet and make the putt. We know it's not always going to happen, but play to your strengths. You might be chipping well. You might knock the odd 30-footer in. You don't have to play perfectly to make a good score.
Frank couldn't ask for anything more.
Just the lie there, too. It is sitting up like it's teed up.
Frank, what kind of approach shot is this at 14?
Well, you have a couple of different areas you can aim at. When the flag's on the right, that right corner, it's definitely easy enough to stop it there. Even the back corner, you can go more directly at this flag, or just use the mounding in the middle of the green. Let the ball run towards that flag in your favor. This green is a little more conducive to good approach play.
This one looks like it's headed right for the middle of the dance floor, Frank.
Rather nice shot, I would say.
Well, that is an exceptional shot on the green and in position for a birdie.
Yeah, it's a formality now.
Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
Shouldn't be a problem here. I thought that was in.
Yeah, it looked good. I mean, line, pace. It's hard to be critical of that.
You don't want to let this one get away. This is about concentration and focus at this point. Well, you just can't make up ground if you don't make putts. Drop shot here at the 14th hole. Just a couple of feet. Well, thank you at last. A birdie. That was a long time coming, Frank.
Yeah, finally he strung some shots together. Now, if all of a sudden he can do the same on the next hole, he might just get a run going.
Here at the 15th, a long par 4 at 499 yards. Frank, what are you looking to do off the tee?
The tee shot here is very similar to the one back at the par 5, where the fairway slopes left to right. And then the second shot's going to be uphill to a green that's actually built in the opposite direction. This is a tough par 4.
Frank, the handicap system in golf really is the great equalizer, isn't it?
Yeah, there's no sport like it. I can't imagine going to Wimbledon and playing, sort of Djokovic or Federer, or, playing NFL with Peyton Manning. But, the beauty of golf, we can go out in a golf course. We decide what our handicaps are on the first tee. We decide who's going to get strokes, and then off you go and play. And you play on a level playing field.
And now it's right in his wheelhouse. Good position where he can attack the pin.
Yeah, he has all those options now. That ball's sitting up. You can bring it in high. You can bring it in low. The choice is yours.
Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag. Should be safely on deck.
Frank, it hit the green, but just didn't have enough backspin.
You wonder what he's thinking on that.
Frank, downhill shot here. Will he have to take it just a little bit easier?
Yeah, be careful with the ball position as well. If you play the ball too far forward and try and scoop it, it's not going to work.
Up to the 15th green, but looking at a tough putt, considerably long, over 25 feet away. Frank, just into that first cut.
Yeah, it's sitting up. Really, this isn't too bad a situation.
Boy, this could be a tough one right here, Frank.
It's a very long putt, Rich. Obviously, it's difficult, but he still has a shot to sink this one for birdie.
You couldn't ask for much more than that, except to make it. 13 feet away. That was a good-looking putt, just not falling right now.
Sadly, he's going to be disappointed.
Locked in on the read and the speed. Good roll. Solid. That's a par. Trying to get out of here without too many bumps and bruises. This one is for bogey. Now at 1 under for the round.
Frank, this is a point in the round where you really need to summon your best stuff. Par 3 of 231 yards. You know the pressure's building. We're at the 16th hole. And you have a long iron in hand. You can't flinch. You can't take it halfway back and go. This has to be the complete swing, and you have to really have the nerve on this shot.
Yeah, this shot has to be hitting right out of the button, that's for sure. One thing to consider, though, in the back of your mind, it's always better putting back uphill. Well, uphill is actually from the back of the screen. So you actually can be a little braver on 16 than what you might think standing on that tee, because a little long is better than a little short.
See if he can get this one to drop here at the 16th for a birdie. Oh, no, look out, Frank. I think he flushed that one.
Oh, this is going, gone.
Frank made this hole just a little bit harder hitting it into the rough.
I would say a lot harder.
Second shot from the rough. It's on the way.
It's no snack, though. Just when you think you're going to make birdie. Now, have to really concentrate on this and at least make par.
This from about 10 feet. Oh my goodness, he just missed that. And that was almost tap-in distance. Six over for the day. A makeable putt right here. He is currently sitting at 1 under par. And takes care of business there.
Solid stroke.
17th hole at Oakmont, par 4. Only 313 yards, yet Frank, it was so pivotal. The last U.S. Open played here in 2007.
It was pivotal for a lot of different reasons. Strategy being one. Some elected to go down the right side with just a mid-iron. Others went directly at the green, did not get the ball up and down. Furyk and Tiger Woods come to mind in that situation. You can see the green's just perched up there. If you do lay it up, you don't quite get a full look at this green because you have to lay it up down that right side. That's an absolute beauty.
That one is bunker bound, it looks like. And the tee shot ends up in the bunker. Okay, a bunker shot here, a shot the pros really like. The amateurs, they don't like it as much. So the second of the par 4 goes begging, and now I'll have to rely on the short game.
Yeah, but a short game, as we all know, can redeem a lot of mistakes. See if he does it here.
Really good distance control there, playing well to his strengths. Now a 7-footer. Wow, he needed that, Frank, in the worst way.
Interesting to see what's ahead from now, whether that was just a flash in the pan or the start of something good.
Still playing even for the day after the par.
Great finishing hole here at Oakmont, Frank, the 18th.
I remember back in 1994, this was the last hole in a US Open ever played by Arnold Palmer. You couldn't pick a better finishing hole to win a championship or say farewell.
He has given this one the full treatment. Perfect release through the ball. And this shot is on the fairway, over 300 yards.
Well, the U.S. Open could well be decided right here with this approach shot to the 18th hole, Frank.
Another one that's going to have to be launched right up in the air. Carry that false front and hopefully land softly and not get too much ground movement from the general terrain of this 18th green.
Now from a good position in the fairway, his second shot.
Oh, solid strike right in the heart of the green.
Great way to finish off the final approach shot with a birdie opportunity. Chance to get it close here. Birdie chance here. Very long putt, though.
Got to be a little careful if it gets away on him.
That may have been a bit too much to ask for there, that distance putt, Frank.
Yeah, it's fine to be greedy before you hit the putt, but after you've hit it, 2 from that distance is fine. Really. This is an awkward length.
Wow, I thought he made that. Just hammered that par putt, Frank.
Well, I don't know what he was thinking or what was going through his mind right there, but he better wake up in a hurry, because if this one doesn't go in, then that score is going to rack up very quickly.
So a good performance today, 71. So just a formality here. Did the job right there. So as we finish up here today, Frank, he has not had the best round, but I suppose that's golf, isn't it?
Yeah, he's not Robinson Crusoe. This golf course can drive many a man crazy. But the beauty of this game, you get up, dust yourself off, do it again.
And there'll be a next time for us as well, partner. This